I'm on the way down. I ride the wave straight to the grave now. Cocaine, they got my face now. Why ain't any of you saying something? I'm on the way down. I ride the wave straight to the grave now. Cocaine, they got my face now. Why ain't any of you saying something?
Just ran out of yeah now, got more on the way now. Headed to the grave, fuck 6 feet, I'm going way down. Couldn't get it up with 7 sluts up on my waist now. Ain't talking for homies when I say them balls is 8 now. Sniffing on my money up, couldn't eat a honey bun. Nose getting runny, this really shouldn't be funny, bruh. Night getting sunny, yeah, lines feeling lovely, yeah. Licking all the nummies, but it's R.I.P. to Stucky, bruh. All my friends know I need help, they can't even help themselves. Shit, we might just go to hell. Young bar, he just sold a belt. Finna get that dough, it's going right up in my nose as well. Everybody in the party got it, call it blow and tell. I've been sniffing, I'm a product, I don't got no more to sell. Ghost Brazil came through with Adderall, yes I do those as well. Even though it's San Antonio, it's always snowing here. Hit me up for that Yola deal.
I'm on the way down. I ride the wave straight to the grave now. Cocaine, they got my face now. Why ain't any of you saying something? I'm on the way down. I ride the wave straight to the grave now. Cocaine, they got my face now. Why ain't any of you saying something? Why aren't you saying something? I hope you're praying for me. Wrapped up in the drugs, cocaine mummy. Sandy bars to ease the pain, I don't pay front. Switching lanes, the lines of shame, it's all weighing on me. Staring at a coffin with my name on it. It probably full of Molly. If there's a track to hell, I'm all up on the trolley. Cutting up the Barbie. I can't eat shit, yeah, I'm always starving. I wanna leave this world, something like a Martian. Trying to think straight, but my brain is always tarnished. Trying to harness the power to cope with the coat up in my nose. There's no hope, no joke, I just overdosed. Choked up, oh there it go, say goodbye to my soul. I lost track, full show, now I'm hot, I'm a ghost. I'm on the way down. I ride the wave straight to the grave now. Cocaine, they got my face now. Why ain't any of you saying something? I'm on the way down. I ride the wave straight to the grave now. Cocaine, they got my face now. Why ain't any of you saying something?
Check. Good evening. Thank you for joining me for another episode, show, call it what you want, of JMKAZE East to West. Want to ask you to hit the like button and subscribe. And if you hit the thumbs up, hit it again. Tell your friends, hit the thumbs up button and get some traction in for this actual video. Gonna go ahead and turn this music off here so that we can begin the show. We may have JMix on tonight. I talked to him just a while ago and he may be on, but if not, we'll maybe fill in and get RG Bond to chime in, and then we will see if we'll probably get some call-ins too. Tonight, we're going to be talking about, and if you already see the topics on the board there, topics tonight are going to be about the Suge Knight American Nightmare review. Really, really good documentary. Even though it was probably an hour long, it was really fulfilling as far as to get a little bit of answers or not answers in a direct way from Suge Knight. And then the second topic of tonight is going to be Tom Sizemore, and we'll go more into that in detail as we go along. And then we're going to have questions regarding anything that we speak about tonight, and then we may have a few call-ins. So we'll see how that runs and how far we go. Right now, it's pretty early, so we got plenty of time to go through the show, but I'm going to let a few people join before we begin. And I'm just trying to get the chat board up here to see what's going on. And I welcome everybody who's here tonight, even if you're part of the opposition. It's all good. Welcome. Everybody is entitled to their opinions, and that's fine. If you believe that story or you believe this story, it's okay. No worries. As long as it doesn't get vile or disrespectful in here, we're okay. Anybody can be here. You believe Tupac is alive also. That's going to be the third angle. You believe Tupac's alive. You can also be in here as well. And it doesn't matter. It's all the same stuff. Some things change, some things don't. So, anyhow, we will begin tonight. So, essentially, we had the Suge Knight American Nightmare documentary come on tonight, which was really good. I think he did a fantastic job. The producer getting some answers that maybe we haven't gotten, and certainly you get to go into Suge Knight's mind and get a little perspective about how he feels about Tupac and Biggie and everything else as far as September 7th is concerned and just the whole ordeal with Death Row Records. So I got a few audio clips that were recorded. It's not a whole lot, just a little bit, but we'll speak on a few things, a few topics that were pretty interesting. One of the things that was very interesting from last night, actually, from the documentary, was when Suge Knight got sued by Lydia Harris for the $107 million. And the judgment, of course, from the get-go, the whole judgment was that they were going to sue Death Row Records. They were going to sue Jimmy Iovine. They were going to sue Interscope Records. And they were going to sue a whole slew of people. And the judge basically dismissed that lawsuit. But a little later on, they open up the lawsuit again, and then they sue Suge Knight and Death Row Records, and they win the $107 million judgment. Now, I don't know if that's because he didn't show up to the court proceedings and they just offered a default judgment, but I think it's pretty unfair that Suge Knight became the scapegoat of everything. Man, we really look at it. Jimmy Iovine, David Kenners of the world got away, basically robbed the bank and hit the road, and Suge Knight was left with all the pieces. But how we would know that if Suge Knight would have maybe had gone to the court proceedings as he was supposed to have gone from the beginning, then he potentially could have kept the company, and Death Row Records may have survived maybe another 5 years, maybe another 10 years. People will argue that maybe they wouldn't be able to just because they lost all their best artists. Of course, Tupac dies. Some people believe he's alive. But that's beside the point. So Tupac dies. Dr. Dre left, started his own company. Aftermath. That almost sank. His only saving grace was going to be Eminem. But we're not going to go into all that. Snoop Dogg left for Lone Ember Records. So they had a bunch of artists that try to fill the gaps. You had The Realist, Top Dog, and several other artists that just didn't have the image power that a Snoop Dogg or a Tupac Shakur or a Dr. Dre would have for a company. So, all in all, Suge Knight loses the company. And he made a very good point. And a lot of people have been making this point. Well, maybe not a lot, but a few have said that all they wanted to do was take him from his money. Take him from his money. They figure out every single way how to take him from his money. You're right. Death Row Empire did die with Tupac, but think about it. If he would have went to court and he would have at least showed up, he could have maybe got that judgment taken down more than what it was, $107 million. I mean, for not showing up for court to get a judgment of $107 million is pretty unfair. But sometimes that's the way the law works. Anyhow. So Tupac dies, Death Row goes down, Suge goes to jail, whatever. So that's really what it all boils down to. Anyhow, tonight we have, I'm going to go to the next clip here because that's what it's going to be about. So scene 2, here's Suge Knight. And we'll go ahead and begin the audio here. It's going to be the audio from Suge Knight.
It's their opinion. That's going my way. Somebody in the media, somebody else said try to come up their own tracks. What man got to turn around and say, hey, shoot him and shoot me in the head too when I cover him
but you
up.
listen to what Suge Knight says.
I'm the only person
Tupac,
to the loss
what he says about
when Pac
what he
moved
says
on.
about Tupac.
Not only did I lose the idea of
not
a friend you can have or a little brother you can have, Pac is one of those incredible artists that I know for a fact he's worth way more alive than dead.
Something to do with Tupac murder.
Outsider's opinion doesn't matter if it's their opinion. It's going my way. Somebody in the media, somebody else said try to come up their own tracks. What man got to turn around and say, hey, shoot him and shoot me in the head too when I cover him up. I'm the only person to the loss when Pac moved on. Not only did I lose the idea of a friend you can have or a little brother you can have, Pac is one of those incredible artists that I know for a fact he's worth way more alive than dead.
Where and why do you think people say Pac wanted to leave death row and that's why he was killed? Where do you think those rumors came from?
Probably because of the motherfuckers who feared Pac the most. Probably his competition. When Jimmy Iovine heard, I thought that Pac was dead, right? First thing he said was, you can't be a dead man in sales. He said, you lucky as fuck, you can hit the jackpot. Jimmy turned back around and did a deal and signed Puffy as an artist on Interscope. In this business, it's not really loyalty to a lot of these dudes. Everybody want to fake like they care about shit, they make it. Once they make it, they on a whole agenda. They try to figure out how to cut you out because they greedy. So if everybody love Pac so fucking much, and everybody's so bad about the loss, what are they doing about it?
There were some shootings, approximately 12 in nature, that we believe may possibly have been retaliatory for the incident that occurred in Las Vegas.
Some of the motivation for some of the shootings in the city of Compton may have been retaliation for events that occurred in the city of Las Vegas on September 7th, 1996. Las Vegas Police Department has not announced any suspect in the Tupac Shakur shooting.
You know, when Pac got shot and Biggie released his album, Life After Death, he bragged and talked about the person that people say shot Pac on his song.
But that don't mean a nigga can't rest in the West. See some nice breasts in the West. Smoke some nice sets in the West. Y'all niggas is domestic and I'm gon' stop giving LA props. All I got is beef with those that violate me. I shall annihilate people.
For the second time in 6 months, real-life violence has taken the life of a rap star. 24-year-old Notorious B.I.G. gunned down in a drive-by shooting outside a music industry party in L.A. early Sunday.
Speculation that it was a result of a long-standing East Coast-West Coast feud among rap artists.
Biggie's death comes almost exactly 6 months after the drive-by slaying of his arch-rival, even more popular rap star Tupac Shakur in Las Vegas.
Right. Now some people say that you had Biggie murder because Pac's murder.
You know, you really look at it, like I said before, Biggie involvement in most of the things, I felt that any involvement he ever had, I felt is because the next person he was with was pushing for negative, and so he rolled with it. Number one, it wouldn't benefit me to have Biggie murdered. And second, when that happened to Biggie, I was in the county jail. So how can I have any involvement, participate and have anything done to Biggie when I'm locked the fuck up? When it's something about me, they push the envelope, try to destroy me. When it turns on the next man who's really guilty of something, according to the facts, there's not one thing being said. From that day on, it changed a lot of shit. It changed the fact that they made it their mission basically to try to destroy us.
Now Los Angeles prosecutors claim Suge Knight was also in the group, kicking a man on the ground. Did Knight take part in this fight? If so, it would be a violation of the Death Row Record executive's probation on a 1995 assault charge.
Where and why do you think people say Pac wanted to leave Death Row and that's why he was killed? Where do you think those rumors came from?
Probably because of the motherfuckers who feared Pac the most. Probably his competition. When Jimmy Iovine heard, I thought that Pac was dead, right? The first thing he said was, "You can't be a dead man in sales." He said, "You lucky as fuck, you can hit the jackpot." Jimmy turned back around and did a deal and signed Puffy as an artist on Interscope. In this business, it's not really loyalty to a lot of these dudes. Everybody want to fake like they care about you so they make it. Once they make it, they on a whole agenda. They try to figure out how to cut you out because they're greedy. So if everybody love Pac so fucking much, and everybody's so bad about the loss, what are they doing about it?
There were some shootings, approximately 12 in nature, that we believe may possibly have been retaliatory for the incident that occurred in Las Vegas.
Some of the motivation for some of the shootings in the city of Compton may have been retaliation for events that occurred.
So there you go. I'm not going to make a repeat of what it was. It was actually, you heard tonight, what you heard. But basically that was a little bit of what people wanted to hear as far as Suge Knight talking about Tupac and his non-involvement in the Biggie assassination. He was in county jail, so didn't benefit him in any way. And there was other things that were kind of striking, especially about Jimmy Iovine. As everybody mentions, everybody blames everything on Suge Knight this and Suge Knight that. But really in all essence, he's become the scapegoat, especially for the business portion of what Death Row Records has become. Jimmy Iovine, in the interview, we've heard this maybe here and there. I mean, the version of the story always changes, from one person to the next. But what Suge Knight says about him bailing Tupac out of jail, because Interscope didn't want to do it. Interscope didn't want anything to do, according to Suge Knight, didn't want anything to do with Tupac. He was sort of the bad child that they couldn't handle anymore. So Jimmy Iovine tells Suge Knight, get him out of jail, bail him out of jail. We'll release him to you. We'll give you all his unreleased music, old music, everything else. We just won from underneath Tupac. We don't want to help him. So there again, the person who bails Tupac out is Suge Knight because Interscope didn't want anything to do with him. Excuse me. And that's a believable story. Although Jimmy Iovine was basically in it for the money and really didn't care about his artist. And you heard Suge Knight say that after the Notorious B.I.G. died, Interscope signs Puffy because in Jimmy Iovine's eyes, he can make more money from the death of Tupac and the death of Notorious B.I.G. So how does he do that? He's able to get Puffy under his label, and the rest is history. And what was also striking was towards the end of the documentary, how they went down the timeline of everything that's happened to Suge Knight. Essentially, he's left with nothing, really. I mean, at the end of the day, he's sentenced to 28 years in prison. You have P, whatever his name is, who is a mogul, is part of the Revolt TV television network, Ciroc, Vodka, and all other business ventures. And basically, he's on the Forbes magazine as one of the millionaires of the music industry. I think he's valued at about $800 million, if not more. So if anybody got the short end of the stick, and some of it may have been his own fault, but end of the day, it seemed like everybody was out to get Suge Knight from the music industry, because he broke open the music industry by getting artists what they deserve. Their publishing, getting them the contracts they deserve, not getting paid pennies on a dollar for their intellectual property, for their publishing. So the industry didn't like this because the industry hadn't ever experienced this. They had never experienced somebody coming in and saying, no, I'm not going to pay. I'm not going to let my artist take this from you. I'm going to tell you what the terms are going to be, and you're going to abide by them. That's what they didn't like. So you think about it, they had to figure out a way to get rid of Suge. Little by little, bite by bite, everything took its place. Little by little. He loses Death Row Records. And not only that, but in the documentary, too, you had 165 police officers who raided the Death Row offices on Wilshire Boulevard. 165. And they were coming to serve warrants. But according to one of the spokesmen for the sheriffs, they weren't there to hem up Suge Knight. They were there for other things, other matters. So you had people coming from helicopters. Suge Knight said they busted every window. That might have been an exaggeration, but I mean they're kicking in doors. I mean this is an operation from a movie. 165 police officers from the LA Sheriff's. Excuse me. They do all that. He goes to prison for 9 years, and basically at that time he has an oversight of the company, and the company just goes down, and it never recuperates ever again. Everybody else has gone on to be successful. Dr. Dre went on to sell the company, his company, the Beats company, with Jimmy Iovine, and made billions of dollars with the sale to Apple. He doesn't have to ever work again in his life. He doesn't even have to produce another record. A Detox record, the record that's never going to come out that people talk about. It's like a tall tale. He'll never have to release that again. So in retrospect, if you think about it, in hindsight, I think if Suge Knight would have ran the company a little bit differently, he would have still had Dr. Dre, potentially. It would have been a part of that deal, the money. And, I mean, who knows? Would he have had the other artist? Probably not. But he would have been successful. But it seemed like he went all out. And it was good that he did, if he did do that. A lot of people would sit here and say, and I'm not going to be the one to say it, but a lot of people would say, hey, you know what? We're glad that Suge Knight or whoever it was got retaliation for Tupac, if that's what the real story is. And if he did that, great. And then some people think it was just wasn't worth it. Not for him, at least, because, like I said, he's the one at the end of the day. And he talks about it at the end. Maybe if things would have been different, if he would have, him and the other person or other persons in the rap industry, powerful moguls, would have gotten together and said, you know what, we don't need this anymore. We just need to stick together, and we need to just unite, or at least be at peace, make money, because that's what it's all about. So, very, very good documentary. 28 years. We're looking at maybe, if you got credit for credit, 7.5 years. So I guess like maybe 20 years, maybe less than that. But he also has appeals too because of everything they were doing to him with a non-contact. I mean, there's habeas corpus, which means it has due process. So phone calls and not seeing family and not having lawyers and not getting right representation, having 16 different lawyers. And you got to ask yourself if Thaddeus Culpepper was actually put in place to actually represent Suge Knight to the fullest, or was he intentionally duped into trying to help Suge Knight by maybe swaying some of the people that were going to sit in the jury and pay them a little bit of money to, or witnesses to be gone and not be there to testify. He gets caught, and that's where the case just turns. And now I mean it's really all he has left is his appeals. So if he can win his appeals, then there's potential. But if you think about it now, it doesn't really matter. He's in his 50s. By the time he gets out, let's say he gets out in his early 60s, he gets out in his late 60s, whatever it may be. What is he going to do? Where is he going to go? That era of death row, the era of the 90s, even the early 2000s, is done. It's gone. It's a memory. But a lot of people still love it. I mean, I love it. There's nothing like the 90s. It was the best time ever. You had artists that had the best music come out. I always say music died as far as it being something interesting probably in the late 1990s. Now, today, we have just a bunch of garbage that's out there. You have people that can create beats with a Fruity Loops or some generic beat-making software. And it's not like real, actual engineering and using real instruments. That's what makes the Dr. Dre's of the world, is they use real instruments. And yeah, they use samples, but they know how to use samples in a good way. That era is never coming back. Jamar, welcome. I got your message earlier. You said you were at work. Thank you for joining. We're just getting into this, talking about the Suge Knight American Nightmare docu that came on tonight, which was really good. If you get an opportunity, check it out. Came on tonight at Showtime. I'm sure they'll air it again. It was an hour, quick synopsis of his life. I mean, with the limited time they had, they really went through and through with the actual documentary. It was great. But just carrying on, 1990s is over. There'll never be another era like it. There'll never be another death row. Even though you have guys like P, whatever his name is, who has a lot of money right now, his music, the talent he had on his roster, will never amount to what Death Row had. Actually, nobody's roster ever will. No Limit, the Rap-A-Lots, whatever you want to say, the different genres. We had the crunk music at one time. We had the southern music at one time. We had the hyphy music at one time. None of those that music doesn't live to the test of time. This is Death Row Records. I would say Ruthless Records was there because they were there at the infancy of it all. But with the tragic loss of Eazy-E, the company went down. I mean, you had Tamika Wright running the company. She never did anything with it if you really think about it. She really never. And if you really think about it, Bone was a saving grace for Ruthless Records. They had some good artists, but there'll never be another group, or they're actually the first group that layered their vocals. And that's what made them more than 5 million records sold. So anyhow, I'll play the audio again a little later, and I'm going to see if I'm going to get somebody on the line. I'm going to text RJ right now and see if we can get him on the line. I'll text JMix and see if he wants to call in. If he wants to call in, we'll find out. I mean, he's kind of been a ways. We'll see if he wants to come on, and he'll call in. And then if not, we'll get a couple of call-ins for anybody that saw the documentary tonight that wants to speak about it. And we can talk about it, and you can give me your thoughts, and you can kind of let people know what it is, what your opinion is on the actual documentary, which, as I mentioned before, was really good. So far, anybody have any thoughts on what's going on so far, what you thought about? And you can type that in the chat, and you can let me know what you thought about the whole documentary, the audio, whatever it was there. So Jamar, you didn't get you're at work. You didn't get to watch that, did you? Or anybody? Nate? I know you're asking questions about it. Death Row East is here. I don't know who else is in here right now. I can't see. Not really looking in. There's people watching, but there's not a lot of people in the participants. Participants are just these people here. So, all right, you didn't get to watch it. Well, you can get to watch it soon. I'm gonna see if I can get RJ Bond on, somebody, JMix, RJ, and they can go ahead and give us their thoughts. And there's a few other questions that we had about a few other things. And just getting off. All right. So give me a quick minute so I can see if I can get these guys on there. And if not, we got a few more things we're going to talk about, but we won't go off air. We'll probably have a few call-ins, a few people that wanted to call in and kind of speak their mind on a little bit of the topic. So stand by. All right, back. Just waiting for a few text messages to come back. Anyhow, there was another striking conversation that they had on the actual documentary. They asked Suge if Tupac was a member of the Mob Piru, and he said, I mean, in the short answer, and from my opinion, he said yes, is what he said, that he represented Mob, and that he was a gangster. He said, but you want to not be famous for that. You want to make sure you watch out because somebody will want to get a trophy on you, basically, is what he's saying. Somebody wants to basically take you out if you're representing gangs while you're doing rap music. So that's really what he said in a nutshell. He says that Tupac was a part of the Bloods or representing or whatever it may be. So who knows? Anyhow, we'll move to the next topic here. And I don't know how true this is, but I'm going to come out and just lay it out there for you folks so you can check it out and see what it's all about. So we had a actual document that came out. Well, it was an actual article that came out, and it was talking about Tom Sizemore. And Tom Sizemore said that he can prove that Suge Knight was behind the Tupac and Notorious B.I.G. murder. Now, I don't know how true that is, and the reason I say that is because and I'm going to bring that up here real quick before we come up here so you can see that, what I'm talking about here. So I'm going to plug that up there and you can see, and that was just a picture of the document there. So here it goes right here. There's the article there. Let me go ahead and get this little shrunk down so you can see it. So according to Tom Sizemore, told the FBI, Suge Knight orchestrated the murders of rappers Notorious B.I.G., Tupac, and the leaked documents reveal in a bombshell FBI file obtained by Sun Online. I don't know how legitimate that actual articles are from the Sun. He's just an actor from the Black Hawk Down is what it says. He even told agents he's willing to wear a wire to try to crack the unsolved case. So according to Tom Sizemore, he believes that Suge Knight was involved in both murders. And if you read the article and you go down it, there's a few other things he talks about in the article. Now, that's going to be a question for either JMix or it's going to be a question for RJ Bond. I have no idea if that's true or not. But Tom Sizemore says, he gives details about the murder. He says that somebody told him that Suge Knight was involved and yada yada. Who knows? I don't know. But hopefully we can get one of those people on the phone here. And I'm gonna call RJ up and see if he wants to jump on here real quick. I think JMix might be busy or whatnot, so we'll see what happens. And if anything, I'll get some callers to call in, and we'll figure out what it is that you believe could be true or not true. So let me go ahead and. He was heavy. He was heavy on drugs. Okay, Jamar says he was heavy on drugs. Who was heavy on drugs? Was it Tom Sizemore? Was he hallucinating at that time when he talks about he was heavy on drugs? All right, let's see here. So he was heavy on drugs. Yeah, you're right. He was at one point. I think he was even in drug rehab. So, I mean, that could just have been one of his fantasies. Possibly. Who knows? Get more of a clarification from him. But if you didn't know, be on the lookout for Randall Sullivan's book that's going to be coming out. It's called Dead End. It's coming out in May of 2019. I think it's just going to be a runoff of the Labyrinth book, but I also think there's going to be some more information that has been newly discovered. If you haven't heard the tapes from Perry Sanders and Gene Deal saying that he didn't tell Greg Katie nothing. I mean, their recording was out there, but has since been taken off the net. I have a copy of it, but in respect to others, I'm not allowed to re-air it again just because it's not, it's something that was asked of me not to do it. So, I'm almost there. I mean, trying to multitask here, stick to the board, and also trying to give somebody a call here. See if he wants to jump on. Let me go ahead and dial this number here real quick. We're almost there. So we're going to go ahead and dial a number here. And then I'm going to get somebody on the line. Okay, so bear with me, folks. We're almost there. We're almost going to get somebody on the phone. Anybody have any thoughts tonight about the show? Anybody see the show tonight? Anybody? Pretty quiet night tonight. Maybe it's just a bad night, bad Friday night. So, who knows? Maybe too late. Who knows? But if you get a chance, again, hate to keep repeating this, but you got to watch the docuseries. It's just one episode. So, well, I called RJ. He didn't answer it. I wish I could play it. When the Tupac, Who Killed Tupac was showing on TV, I aired a couple of episodes and got a copyright strike and almost got my channel taken off the air. So I don't want to do that again just because, my channel will go offline. And I've kind of worked hard to get to where I'm at. But anyhow, anybody that's in the chat board right now, if you can, please hit the thumbs up button, and we'll have a call-in number. And if anybody knows this area code, then you know where I'm at tonight. Area code 424. Anybody know where 424 is at? You can do a Google search or whatever you want to do, but that's where I'm at tonight. In a secret location, of course. So, Never Obey, welcome. Never Obey, welcome. So, Never Obey basically is he believes Tupac's alive, and we respect that. And in the docuseries, and he did mention that tonight, I'll have you, that he said that Tupac was talking about faking his death towards the latter part of his life. And really where it all came into essence was when he talked about the, what did he talk about here? He said that, trying to remember what he said. He said that for the video, for I Ain't Mad at You, the white suit and everything else about heaven and stuff like that. He talked about that, and he just like, hey, look, if you're not going to be here, or if that's something you're planning to do, or whatever it is, you know, please, you know, let me know so I'm not looking like a fool, essentially. And not verbatim, but that's how I deciphered that conversation to be. But it doesn't mean that he faked his death. He's just something he spoke about. So, I mean, I think Suge Knight just doesn't really come out and say that Tupac is dead because it's like a loss for him. And I mean that from a personal aspect and also for the, you know, like you don't want to lose to the other team, so to speak. And that's what it was, is that he didn't want to lose to the other team. And who would, especially during that times? The real volatile. I mean, the East versus the West, whatever you want to call it. His hate for Puffy, whatever. And I think that's why he says that Tupac went away. You know, he doesn't want to take that loss. But it's a personal loss to him. Even though people say what they want to say, I mean, it is what it is. So let's see here. Got Never Obey here, and he's going to be answering. I'm going to answer his question here. He says, Pac wrote a script while he was in prison named Live to Tell. I'm sure that was the whole faking his death script. Well, here's the other thing, too. That album, the 2-CD album, All Eyes on Me, never knew this. But Suge Knight said that Tupac wanted to label the album, named the album Euthanasia. That's what the title was supposed to be. It was supposed to be Euthanasia, but Suge Knight wanted to be All Eyes on Me. So that's what it was, and that's what it became. That's pretty interesting to know. So maybe Tupac knew he was going to die. I mean, for the people that believe he's alive, maybe they see it more as like, hey, he was planning his death, and he was really gonna fake his death, and he was making videos about it. I don't think that. I think on the flip side, I think he just knew that his time was coming, and he knew that he was gonna die here soon. MB, welcome to the show. Thank you for being here tonight. Yeah, and we know that we know what euthanasia means. I think he just knew he was gonna die. I mean, he had a lot of enemies and things like that. Assisted death. What show are you talking about? Oh, the show that I'm talking about is the for tonight, the Suge Knight American Nightmare Review. That was the show that came on tonight. It was a docuseries by, I don't remember his name, but it came on tonight on Showtime. It was about an hour long, and it was really, really touching on the key points about Suge Knight, about everybody, about Puffy, about Biggie, about, you know, Death Row Records, Jimmy Iovine, the lawsuit. I mean, you really tell me you can type out something and it was probably said tonight. I mean, and it was really shortened. I mean, if you did a Suge Knight biopic, it would take hours. So, I mean, they have to shorten this thing. So it got really quick to the point. It was kind of like Cliff Notes for dummies. It was just narrow down. It wasn't this long, drawn-out docuseries. So, anyways, that's what Suge Knight said. You missed it tonight. I can play some clips, and I'll play some clips again for people that just joined, and you can listen to what he says. Again, if you're in the chat room, please hit the thumbs up button and hit the like button. So I'm going to go ahead and go to that scene again, and then I'll go ahead and play the clips again so you can listen to them, and you can listen to what Suge says. As I said before, I can't put any video clips up because I'll get struck by YouTube, and I don't want to get a strike because I'm trying to get my channel monetized. So anyhow, I'll go to the scene right now, and you can listen to what he says. I'm not going to talk over it just because I'll be too loud. So you'll hear what he says, and then we can chat on that, what you believe could be true or not true.
Outsider's opinion doesn't matter if it's their opinion. It's going by what somebody in the media, somebody else said, try to cover up their own tracks. What man got to turn around and say, hey, shoot him and shoot me in the head too when I cover him up. I'm the only person to the loss when Pac moved on. Not only did I lose the idea of a friend you can have or a little brother you can have, Pac is one of those incredible artists that I know for a fact he's worth way more alive than dead.
This interview with Tupac murder.
Outsider's opinion doesn't matter if it's their opinion. It's going by what somebody in the media, somebody else said, try to cover up their own tracks. What man gonna turn around and say, hey, shoot him and shoot me in the head too when I cover him up? I'm the only person to the loss when Pac moved on. Not only did I lose the idea of a friend you can have or a little brother you can have, Pac is one of those incredible artists that I know for a fact he's worth way more alive than dead.
Where and why do you think people say Pac wanted to leave death row and that's why he was killed? Where do you think those rumors came from?
Probably because of the motherfuckers who feared Pac the most. Probably his competition. When Jimmy Iovine heard, I thought that Pac was dead, right? First thing he said was, you can't be a dead man in sales. He said, you lucky as fuck, you can hit the jackpot. Jimmy turned back around and did a deal and signed Puffy as an artist on Interscope. In this business, it's not really loyalty to a lot of these dudes. Everybody want to fake like they care about you so they make it. Once they make it, they on a whole agenda. They try to figure out how to cut you out because they're greedy. So if everybody love Pac so fucking much, and everybody's so bad about the loss, what are they doing about it?
There were some shootings, approximately 12 in nature, that we believe may possibly have been retaliatory for the incident that occurred in Las Vegas.
Some of the motivation for some of the shootings in the city of Compton may have been retaliation for events that occurred in the city of Las Vegas on September 7th, 1996. Las Vegas Police Department has not announced any suspect in the Tupac Shakur shooting.
You know, when Pac got shot and Biggie released his album, Life After Death, he bragged and talked about the person that people say shot Pac on his song.
But that don't mean a nigga can't rest in the West. See some nice breast in the West. Smoke some nice sets in the West. Y'all niggas is domestic and I'm gon' stop giving LA props. All I got is beef with those that violate me. I shall annihilate people.
For the second time in 6 months, real-life violence has taken the life of a rap star. 24-year-old Notorious B.I.G. gunned down in a drive-by shooting outside a music industry party in L.A. early Sunday.
Speculation that it was a result of a long-standing East Coast-West Coast feud among rap artists.
Biggie's death comes almost exactly 6 months after the drive-by slaying of his arch-rival, even more popular rap star Tupac Shakur in Las Vegas.
Right. Now some people say that you had Biggie murdered because Pac's murder.
You know, when you really look at it, like I said before, Biggie involvement in most of the things I felt that any involvement he ever had, I felt it's because the next person he was with was pushing for negative, and so he rolled with it. Number one, it wouldn't benefit me to have Biggie murdered. And second, when that happened to Biggie, I was in the county jail. So how could I have any involvement, participate and have anything done to Biggie when I'm locked the fuck up? When it's something about me, they push the envelope, try to destroy me. When it turns on the next man who's really guilty of something, according to the facts, there's not one thing being said. From that day on, it changed a lot of shit. It changed the fact that they made it their mission basically to try to destroy us.
Now Los Angeles prosecutors claim Suge Knight was also in the group, kicking a man on the ground. Did Knight take part in this fight? If so, it would be a violation of the Death Row Record executive's probation on a 1995 assault charge.
Where and why do you think people say Pac wanted to leave Death Row and that's why he was killed? Where do you think those rumors came from?
Probably because of the motherfuckers who feared Pac the most. Probably his competition. When Jimmy Iovine heard, I thought that Pac was dead, right? The first thing he said was, "You can't be a dead man sales." He said, "You lucky as fuck, you can hit the jackpot." Jimmy turned back around and did a deal and signed Puffy as an artist on Interscope. In this business, it's not really loyalty to a lot of these dudes. Everybody want to fake like they care about you so they make it. Once they make it, they on a whole agenda. They trying to figure out how to cut you out because they greedy. So if everybody love Pac so fucking much, and everybody's so bad about the loss, what are they doing about it?
There were some shootings, approximately 12 in nature, that we believe may possibly have been retaliatory for the incident that occurred in Las Vegas.
All right, welcome. Thank you. I'm back. We just wanted to play some audio clips so that you can hear what he said. And we have, let's see here, call in coming here. I'm going to answer this real quick.
Press 1 to start the call or 2 to decline. The call will start at the beep.
All right. I got my special guest online. He's calling from a bunker somewhere in Canada. Can you go ahead and say a few words, caller? Can you hear? You there? Hello?
Yo.
Are you there? Hello, hello, hello.
Yo.
You there? Let's see here. Nobody heard him come online. Let's see where we're going with this. Let me call him back right now.
Press 1 to start the call or 2 to decline.
Hello.
The call will start at the beep.
Hello, are you there? Can you hear me? Hello, 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 hello. Are you there? Are you there? Can you hear me?
Dude, I can't hear a word you're saying, but if you can hear me, the phone is dropping.
Okay, let's see here. Let me go ahead.
The phone's dropping out.
Dropping out? All right, here we go. Let me go ahead and put you on. Here we go. Okay, you can hear me now? All right, good deal. Well, thank you for joining us tonight, JMix. How you doing tonight, man?
Heard you for like a brief second. I don't know what's going on with this connection or whatnot, but I can't hear you.
Okay, you can't hear me? Can you hear me now? Okay. I think we're just having a little bit of difficulty here at the phone. I thought it was we had a good going the other day, but anyhow, how you doing, man? Welcome to the show. Oh, it's all good, man. Appreciate you being here. So, were you able to watch the docuseries tonight with the Suge Knight American Nightmare? Not at all. Okay. Okay. All right. Well, got you. Well, I don't want to keep you too long. I just, if anything, I think the Tupac community, we haven't seen you around, and we just want to know exactly, or what, if you can fill us in on what you got coming down the pipeline. The Spice One interview that you had, man, that was great. That got a lot of hits, thousands of hits. I think you probably exceeded 50,000, which was amazing. And then you have the Suge Knight interview that stirred a little bit controversy on the YouTube Tupac community. So we just wanted to know what it was that you're going to be coming up with next, and what for people to stay tuned for.
More. I think that it's funny, dude, that a lot of people are talking about illegal recordings now. When I talk to Suge, it's on the prison line. Now, I'm going to be honest. Is every single call authorized recording? No. But every single call I get that says Suge Knight across my phone is getting fucking recorded. I don't care who you are. You're going to record it if you can touch a button. But anyway, the point that I'm making is, there's a lot of talk out there right now about legalized recordings when someone's in jail. I talked to Shiv for quite a bit. I own DeathRowRadio.com. I spent a lot of money. Those dudes went on Bomb First, and I was talking to his contact. I won't even say his name, but I was talking to the dude when he went on Bomb First. And he started, siding with Reggie, because apparently what I was told, there's California politics that are going on here that I simply couldn't understand. And I don't know what that means, other than, I guess it's a business thing. But I was told to back off Reggie Wright, and I wouldn't, and then I wouldn't be a part of a community of people, or DeathRowRadio.com, if it was going to be with Reggie Wright. And I was told that I had to, respect Reggie Wright, and I didn't diss anybody once. You know what I'm saying? So, I respected these people, but the bottom line is, when it comes to DeathRowRadio.com, when it comes to the Suge Knight interview, what they wanted from me was money. And I put up money for the website. I put up money for artists. I put up money for people to actually build it, the domain name, all that. And what happened is they gave me all this content, but then they told me I couldn't put it out. And I was like, that's fine. I can't put it out. That's great. Whatever. I know Suge's trying to make deals with other people. But when the same people that are telling me I can't put my content out are going on Bomb First and, slandering me and going on Instagram and calling me a racist, then fuck those dudes. I'm just going to keep it 100 with you. I'm going to keep it a buck. I mean, I don't owe those dudes anything. I've spent more money out of my pocket than Reggie Wright or John from Bomb First, I'm sorry to mention names, have spent, period. I've spent a shit ton of money, and I'm not seeing any return, but I'm seeing the people that I'm working with, that I'm trying to build a website with, going on other platforms and, disparaging my name. So at that point, I've got recordings that I've made with all kinds of people that have never seen the light of day. But just so people know, there is more Suge Knight interview, and it was an interview, and it was always supposed to be an interview. He knew it was an interview. That's why we have the Tupac story. He wouldn't have told me that in private. But that's the only point I have to make. I wanted to come out and talk about the Suge Knight interview, because people are calling it fraudulent, and people are saying that I did it illegally, and that's just not true. What happened is that the business partners, even with Suge being in prison, they circle back to Reggie. All this comes back to Reggie. And all the people that you say or hear that says that, bad shit about Reggie, and then a couple of weeks later you hear him on a live stream, it's because there's a power play going on, and there's shit going on behind the scenes that I can't talk about. I'm sorry, I'm filibustering you. Go ahead and talk, my friend.
Oh no, not at all. I mean, the next question I have for you is if you're still gonna do Death Row Radio despite the roadblocks that you've endured with the head of security.
Yeah, I own it. I bought it. It cost a lot of money. If you look it up, it's worth like 800. They didn't charge 800, but they charged about 4. So I own it. I'm not going to let it sit stagnant. But the same idea that they had with Death Row Radio is the same idea I can do with it because they don't really own it. And I have audio of Suge, and out of the grace of God for Patrick, who was disparaging me and called me a racist and all that, I still didn't put out the audio of Suge where he's talking about, you know, selling me rights to Tupac songs. So the thing that's going on is nobody really owns Death Row at this point. If you look through all the paperwork, they own Tupac's catalog, but they don't really own Death Row. That's up in the air. So DeathRowRadio.com is owned by me. So if they want to put a competitor up, that's fine, but I do fully intend on building that platform and using the interviews that are already landed, because most people don't understand that the conversation they're hearing is about 65 to 70 days old. And the interviews that we set up along the way after the fact have already been done. So the whole idea and the concept that we have of Death Row Radio will happen. Whether or not it happens with Suge, I don't know. I don't think that I'm necessarily doubtful that it won't happen with them. I think what's going on with this situation is the handler is trying to play too many ends at once, and he's in Reggie Wright's camp, and that's what's going on with it. Because I'll say this, if anything I gathered from Suge is that he was didn't want to either deal with Reggie Wright or didn't want to mention Reggie Wright. And I don't know how any of your audience wants to take that, but that's just the truth. So if you hear the audio of him saying, well, Reggie Wright don't like this guy, and he starts talking theoretically, that's how Suge always gets when Reggie Wright's brought up. He starts talking theoretically. So you can take from that what you want, but obviously the animosity between these two dudes goes a little bit further than I knew what you did last summer. They're skeletons in the closet, and they kind of both know it, and so they play the stalemate. And that's what happened with the Suge interview. It was a stalemate, and then his handler tried to, you know, have me set them up for free. And then when I didn't do it, they would go on 313. Sorry to name that guy, but they would go on different shows, and they would disparage me when they weren't footing the bill.
Gotcha. Well, beyond that, I think in DJ or Vlad or whatever his name is, you know, it's kind of strange. Yeah, that's about the only guy that I'll actually bring up. But in the interview there, he said the last time he spoke with We'll stand by, folks. Okay, you can hear me? Okay. So, and I'll repeat this question and to the audience, but during that interview, the last time that the head of security spoke with Suge Knight was a year and a half ago. It kind of seemed like he spoke to him sooner than that. So is that the case, or is that just what the truth is, a year and a half ago? You there? Jesse? Hello? Hello? I think we dropped the call. I think we lost the call there. Yep, we lost it. The next question was going to be for Jesse, was going to be about and I don't want to speak too much about the Death Row Radio or whatever it was. I wanted him to, my next question was going to be for him to just plug his Death Row Radio channel, because it's going to be coming here soon. The call actually dropped, so let's see here. Let's see if we get that back here. I think that the case, it dropped. Yeah, it dropped. Let's see. Okay, he's back. All right, I think I lost you there, Jess. Well, let's skip on. Let's skip on from the actual, that subject, because that's not really why I had you on tonight. The reason why I had you on tonight is I wanted you to inform the people what it was that you're going to be working on here soon, and then also if I wanted you to plug your channel and then also your Patreon channel so that people know where to go to get your content that you can't really put out on YouTube for whatever reasons, because YouTube has become a kind of a censorship here and there. So I'm gonna let you go ahead and plug that.
All right, no doubt. They can check me out at JMix Exclusives and Patreon is JMix622. But all that aside, the thing is that there's more content to come. There's a lot more stuff that I can put out that I'm just kind of waiting. I'm trying to wait for things to cool down and then put it out. But that's probably not going to happen, so it's going to come really very rushed. So I appreciate your show. I appreciate you having me on. I'm sorry about the disconnection problems. But just to let you know that RJ's coming out with some stuff. Check out his channel. Check out RJ's live streams because I actually watch them quite a bit when I'm at work. And check those out, guys, because something big's coming. Because every time Reggie Wright opens his mouth, he makes a mistake. And when he makes that mistake, it gives the opportunity for 4 or 5 people to jump on it. You were vocal, agree or not. That's my only point. But if you want to support me, just watch my channel. You don't have to even go to Patreon. It's not about that. There's no GoFundMe for my prison fund. I'm just saying, check out JMKAZE's channel. I'm sorry this is so brief and it's so messed up. But thanks for having me on here, brother. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir, Jesse. Thank you for joining us. Take care, buddy. You're welcome. Have a good night. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was Jesse, JMix. If you get an opportunity to go to his channel, check out his channel, check out all his latest videos, the Spice One video, also the Suge Knight interview. Also, you heard him say that there's going to be Death Row Radio coming, despite the roadblocks that are trying to stop him from executing that project. But deathrowradio.com, I'm sure he'll have other interviews coming out on there, probably more uncensored or, just information that you can't really put out on YouTube because YouTube has become a censorship for audio, for video, audio, whatever. It doesn't matter. They just, ever since Google bought them, they become a complete censorship. So I didn't want to make the show about, that person. Just, of course he he elaborated on, the reason why Death Row Radio may not be executed to its full potential, but you can go ahead and lay the blame on whoever it is that you feel like is the person that may have hindered that opportunity. So, but again, check it out, jmixexclusives.com. Go to YouTube. You can go to his Patreon account, and for $1 a month, that's less than a coffee. That's less than anybody spends on a parking meter. You can get some exclusive content. So go and support the channel, the Pioneer. And Mimstar, you came in tonight. I have that audio from the Suge. And if you're in the chat room right now and you can please hit the thumbs up, please do that. Also, like mentioned, go to RJ Bond's channel. He's come out with a few jewels here lately talking about, the things that were conspiring in Compton and a few other things that were happening. So this show is not about, exposing anybody or anything like that. It's just about putting out content, and then it's up to you folks to decide whether or not you believe it or you don't. The truth is laser sharp, as they say. So do what you do best. Listen in, hear in, and then, make your determination on what you feel is truth. So I'm going to go ahead and play that clip again for anybody that was just joining us. We have the, and that's what I forgot to ask you. So Jesse, if you're still on, I'd like to see if you can go ahead and just give us your opinion on, and I'm going to go ahead and pull that up here. We have the Tom Sizemore came out, and I don't know how legitimate the son is, but he came out and says that he believes that he can prove that that I'm sorry, it's kind of comical, but he can prove that Suge Knight killed Tupac and Notorious B.I.G. And he had information he got from somebody that claims that they were the conspirators behind those two murders. So I don't know if you're still in, if you can go ahead and touch on that. If you can just type that in if you like. Sorry for the technical difficulties earlier with the phone. The phones were working before. I don't know what the hell is going on now, but we'll have a caller call in. If we have technical difficulties, I don't want to do it just because it's kind of a pain to get this stuff going here. But if we can, we'll have somebody call in. If it works, then it works, and if it doesn't, then we're just gonna go ahead and move on from that and just continue with the show. We'll play the clips again. Clips about maybe 5 to 6 minutes. It's from the the Suge Knight documentary with The American Dream, where Suge Knight talks really about a whole lot of things that will give you some perspective about Death Row Records, Tupac Shakur, so on and so forth. So we'll see here where we're going with this. We'll have some audio here. I'll get one more call in. If it doesn't work, we're going to call it a day as far as with the phone calls. Mimstar, thank you. You've always been a loyal supporter, and I appreciate that. Always positive. Jamar, you too. Chase Shep, you've been coming in here lately, so I haven't seen you around, but welcome. And everybody else, welcome. Thank you for being here tonight. Pretty good chat board and chat room. You know, normally we get the trolls that come out and start, being vile and all this other stuff. And this is one thing, is that you're not going to be able to convince one party to believe what you believe. So, eventually people will start believing whatever that they're convinced of, and you can't really change anybody's mind. So all I say is expand your horizons, think outside the box, and that'll take you a long way. So got 10 likes so far, so we're pretty good at that. And let's see where we're at here. We're getting some messages here. Okay, so here we go. So I got that in there, and I'm going to turn this up here. And then we'll get a phone call here, and we'll see what we got going on. And anybody out there that wants to call in and speak their mind, and if anybody saw the docuseries tonight, you can go ahead and say. The only thing that I say is, if you can, withhold from speaking certain people's names in this channel, just because it's become a channel of information, and I don't want to, they don't want no, don't want no trouble on this channel. Just want to have a good conversation about whatever happened. Chips, Old Boy Entertainment, and Warner Brother Music. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. Appreciate everybody who's been a subscriber, who's actually come in to listen in. So if anybody wants to call in, I'm going to try this one time. If it doesn't work, then, if you can't hear me or whatever, we'll just bypass that, and we'll speak about a few other things. Let you listen to the clip. Matter of fact, I'll let you listen to the clip first, and then you can give your opinion on that. So let me go ahead and hit that clip again, and then you can go ahead and give me your thoughts. So I'm not going to talk over it. I'm going to let it.
Outsider's opinion doesn't matter if it's their opinion. It's going by what somebody in the media, somebody else said, try to come up their own tracks. What man got to turn around and say, hey, shoot him and shoot me in the head too, and I cover him up. I'm the only person to the loss when Pac moved on. Not only did I lose the idea of a friend you can have or a little brother you can have, Pac is one of those incredible artists that I know for a fact he's worth way more alive than dead.
Something to do with the murder.
Outsider's opinion doesn't matter if it's their opinion. It's going by what somebody in the media, somebody else said, try to come up their own tracks. What man got to turn around and say, hey, shoot him and shoot me in the head too, and I cover him up. I'm the only person to the loss when Pac moved on. Not only did I lose the idea of a friend you can have or a little brother you can have, Pac is one of those incredible artists that I know for a fact he's worth way more alive than dead.
Where and why do you think people say Pac wanted to leave death row and that's why he was killed? Where do you think those rumors came from?
Probably because of the motherfuckers who feared Pac the most. Probably his competition. When Jimmy Iovine heard, I thought that Pac was dead, right? First thing he said was, "You can't be a dead man in sales." He said, "You lucky as fuck, you can hit the jackpot." Jimmy turned back around and did a deal and signed Puffy as an artist on Interscope. In this business, it's not really loyalty to a lot of these dudes. Everybody want to fake like they care about you so they make it. Once they make it, they on a whole agenda. They trying to figure out how to cut you out because they're greedy. So if everybody love Pac so fucking much, and everybody's so bad about the loss, what are they doing about it?
There were some shootings, approximately 12 in nature, that we believe may possibly have been retaliatory for the incident that occurred in Las Vegas.
Some of the motivation for some of the shootings in the city of Compton may have been retaliation for events that occurred in the city of Las Vegas on September 7th, 1996. Las Vegas Police Department has not announced any suspect in the Tupac Shakur shooting.
You know, when Pac got shot and Biggie released his album, Life After Death, he bragged and talked about the person that people say shot Pac on his song.
But that don't mean a nigga can't rest in the West. See some nice breast in the West. Smoke some nice fest in the West. Y'all niggas is domestic and I'm gonna stop giving LA props. All I got is beef with those that violate me. I shall annihilate people.
For the second time in 6 months, real-life violence has taken the life of a rap star. 24-year-old Notorious B.I.G. gunned down in a drive-by shooting outside a music industry party in L.A. early Sunday.
Speculation that it was a result of a long-standing East Coast-West Coast feud among rap artists.
Biggie's death comes almost exactly 6 months after the drive-by slaying of his arch-rival, even more popular rap star Tupac Shakur in Las Vegas.
Right. Now some people say that you had Biggie murdered because Pac's murder.
You know, when you really look at it, like I said before, Biggie involvement in most of the things, I felt that any involvement he ever had, I felt it's because the next person he was with was pushing for negative, and so he rolled with it. Number one, it wouldn't benefit me to have Biggie murdered. And second, when that happened to Biggie, I was in county jail, so how could I have any involvement, participate and have anything done to Biggie when I'm locked the fuck up? When it's something about me, they push the envelope, try to destroy me. When it turns on the next man who's really guilty of something, according to the facts, there's not one thing being said. From that day on, it changed a lot of shit. It changed the fact that they made it their mission basically to try to destroy us.
Now Los Angeles prosecutors claim Suge Knight was also in the group, kicking a man on the ground. Did Knight take part in this fight? If so, it would be a violation of the Death Row Record executive's probation on a 1995 assault charge.
Where and why do you think people say Pac wanted to leave death row and that's why he was killed? Where do you think those rumors came from?
Probably because of the motherfuckers who feared Pac the most. Probably his competition. When Jimmy Iovine heard, I thought that Pac was dead, right? First thing he said was, "You can't be a dead man in sales." He said, "You lucky as fuck, you can hit the jackpot." Jimmy turned back around and did a deal and signed Puffy as an artist on Interscope. In this business, It's not really loyalty to a lot of these dudes. Everybody want to fake like they care about shit they make it. Once they make it, they on a whole agenda. They trying to figure out how to cut you out because they greedy. So if everybody love Pac so fucking much, and everybody's so bad about the loss, what are they doing about it?
There were some shootings, approximately 12 in nature, that we believe may possibly have been retaliatory for the incident that occurred in Las Vegas.
Some of the motivation for some of the shootings in the city of Compton may have been retaliation for
Oh shit! Here we go. All right. So am I back? Am I back? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? I should be back. I should be back. All right. So am I back? Am I back? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? I should be back. I should be back. Can you hear me now? I should be back now. And it was just a stupid blunder on my part. I messed up. Okay. Sorry about that. So the sound went away because I was showing the video, and I forgot to hit the unmute button. That was an amateur move on my part. So so the audio clips, you heard the audio clips, and as I was mentioning before, as a quick synopsis or a quick rundown, you have let's see here. You have the Suge Knight talking about the Tupac being a blood, not being a blood, whatever. Talking about the not being involved in Biggie's murder. Talking about Tupac, the rumors about him leaving death row. Talking about just pretty much everything went to hell in a handbasket. He was basically on the lawsuit with the judgment for $107 million. And with Jimmy Iovine and David Kenner and everybody else, and they went ahead and they just dropped the lawsuit. So, can you hear? Can you hear? You should be able to hear now. You should be able to. If one person can't hear, there's nothing I can do about that. But I think everybody else can hear. So, all right, Shep. I don't know what's going on with you. You gotta refresh it. Jamar, can you hear me? All right, you can hear. Okay, I think somebody's just playing around. Anyhow, yeah, I see it. Yeah, he's playing around. Okay, everybody else can hear. You can't. That's crazy. Yeah, I had the mute button on. But anyway, so Tom Sizemore, that was one of the topics for tonight. He said that he could prove that Tupac and Suge was involved with Tupac and what you call its murder, but Notorious B.I.G.'s murder. But who knows? So y'all heard the clips tonight. You have the first three numbers. We'll get a couple of call-ins. You want to call in? Hold on real quick. Let me plug this phone in here real quick, and then we'll get a phone call. You want to call in, you can call in. Feel free to call in. Let me go ahead and get this prepared. Now, if I can't hear you and things go sideways, we're going to ditch the phone calls tonight until we figure out what the heck is going on here. I don't know what is going on. So, but before I have somebody call in. Now, Jesse, he already came on already, Mike. He came on. Basically, he had a long day at work. Kept it pretty short. Just wanted him to drop some information to let you know. He'll be coming out with more content here coming out soon. And then also, he is still going to be on for Death Row Radio. Now, it might not be to the full capacity as far as what it was transpiring to be because, somebody threw a roadblock in there. But he's still going to come out with it. And, of course, go to his channel, JMix Exclusive, Patreon channel. You can go to that, support that for $1 a month. I mean, that's nothing. That's like less than a parking meter or, a cup of coffee, depending on where you buy coffee at. And then the Death Row Radio. So it's deathrow.com. I don't know how much he has set up in the actual website. He can actually touch on that a little bit more, but he'll be able to tell you what it is that he's doing with that. So, yeah, you missed it. That was early in the stream. But once it renders, you'll be able to hear him come on. He speaks a little about other things that are just, trivial and really not important as far as this community is concerned. But we have the number here for anybody who wants to call. Like I said, if it goes sideways, we're just going to ditch the phone number for tonight. But before I do that, I just want to know who's going to call in so that I have a idea of who's going to call in. Anybody want to call in tonight? You can call in. You can call in. Yeah, Jesse was in earlier, so we're just reviewing the Tom Sizemore thing. There's an article about that. It comes from The Sun. I don't know how legitimate that news publication is, but that was one of the things. And then the other thing was about the American Night, Suge Knight, American Nightmare docu-series that came on tonight. So you'll be able to look at that again if it re-airs on Showtime, which I'm sure it will. Pretty good for an hour. Gives you a real quick breakdown of, a look into the mind of Suge Knight, so to speak. So, but I don't know if anybody saw it tonight. I don't know did anybody see it tonight? Anybody see it tonight? Anybody wants to chime in? Anybody wants to call in? Call in. Give your thoughts on the, the Tupac case. What's been taking place recently as far as developments or non-developments. Just depends on what you think. So, nobody has a ripped version of it yet. You send me an email privately. I can send you a copy of it. I have a copy of it. So, it was a blast. Mimstar. Mimstar, I've always wanted to ask you this question. I don't know if you want to answer it or not, but I'm thinking that you're a woman. Am I right on that, or are you a man? You don't have to answer that question if you don't want, but that's just some of the curiosities I always wonder about some of the people that are out there that follow the Tupac scene and who they are. I'm familiar with you, Mike, because I've seen you often from way back when, years ago. Jamar, you too. Know who you are. We've talked already. So, let's see here. Well, are we gonna get Keefe D? Is he gonna lie? We're gonna get him again, lying again. Is he gonna blame some more dead guys? Is that what we're gonna get from Keefe D? So I'm going to read this from RJ's live stream today. I think the 31 guns stolen from the vault in Compton may be to make sure whomever it was stole the right gun. Thank you for answering that question, Mimstar. I kind of figured you are. Don't ask me how I know that. Really, it's a 50-50 shot, right? You're either a male or you're female, so really no in between. I have been around for years, for as long as Jesse's been doing his thing. Yeah. How did you know she was a female? How did I know? Just the way she writes, the analytics, you can kind of tell by the way somebody writes if they're a male or female. Don't tell me how I that's analytics is what it is, writing analytics. So a lot of people that are on YouTube, you can kind of tell too who the same people are because they write the same way. They try to write a different way, but you can kind of tell a lot of those things. It's just writing analytics. You can kind of study that. Intelligence training, yeah, you can say that. Yeah. Yeah, not a lot of people know what I do, but, I work for the government, so I'll just leave it at that. But you can kind of tell a lot of things. People try to be kind of conniving, but you can kind of tell what's going on. So, anyways, beyond that, we have a calling number for anybody who wants to call in. You're you're Australian. Yeah, the 71 probably gives it away too. So, but you are Australian. Yeah, I remember that part. But yeah. That's all I wanted to know. I don't want anybody to give out too much information out there about who they are or whatever they do or whatever. It's your personal private information, and we don't want to do that because there's a lot of people out there that they're up to no good, trying to find out things or whatever. So it is what it is. Anyways, got a call-in number for anybody who wants to call in, and if you saw the docu-series tonight, you can speak on that. You can speak on whatever it is that you want to. Speak whatever you want. It's all good. Sorry, this is Mimstar. Your comments are making me laugh. That's pretty funny. So, anyways, general rundown. Suge Knight, American Nightmare. If you got opportunity to see, it's about an hour. He talks about Tupac, Biggie, the business, all that kind of stuff. Why he was controversy, why he became controversial, because he basically kicked in the door, analytically speaking, and made people pay for publishing and made people pay the artist. That's one thing Suge was good at, is getting people's money. So, Mike, you're from Toronto. Yeah, I knew you were from Toronto. I knew you were from Canada. Yeah, you're a chef. Yeah, I think that's maybe your avatar. Let's see here. I seen it. Did you hear the part where Suge said Reggie Boy cut him off right before Pac got shot? Nope, didn't see that. Didn't see that. Didn't see that at all. Don't even want to say that name. Um, oh yes. Yeah, I don't like giving anybody publicity over here. I don't really care for, those other channels or whatever it is. I just kind of stick to where I'm from and what we do and let them do what they got to do. I mean, I'm sure they mentioned my name before, but it doesn't bother me. That's okay. I mean, you have fans everywhere, whether you think it or not. So anyhow, me to accept Toronto part. Okay, yeah, I know where you're at, Jamar. So let's see here. Anybody want to call in? Anybody want to speak on anything? I got a phone number here. Like I said, if you call in and it goes sideways because I can't hear you or whatever, then, we'll go ahead and forget that. But before we take a call in, just to see if you want to ponder that thought, if you want to call in, then you can. I want to go ahead and play that Suge Knight audio clips from tonight. Like I said, get an opportunity to watch it. We talked about the Tom Sizemore thing. I don't know if that's just, some fallacy story that, maybe he cooked up when he was, drunk or whatever. But he claims that he has information that proves that Tupac and Biggie's murder was set up by Suge Knight. But, if you really think about it, I don't believe Suge Knight would have had Tupac set up, because how would you sit there and tell, the other guy, don't hit me, just hit him, and then, hopefully that you don't get hit. I mean, that's pretty ballsy. Anyways, here we go with the Suge Knight clip, and then after that, we get a call in, and if not, we'll end the show. We'll end it with, of course, I'll plug the channels that I want to plug, and then we'll call it a day. And then I don't know if we'll be on next week or anytime soon, but if we aren't, I just want to wish everybody whatever you believe in, happy holidays, whether you believe in Christmas or Kwanzaa or, whatever it is. I mean, to each your own. Happy holidays. Hopefully you get everything that you want. It doesn't necessarily have to be a gift. It could be a miracle. So, yeah. Anyhow, let's go ahead and play that clip, and then after that, we'll wrap it up.
That's come by with somebody in the media. Somebody else said try to cover up their own tracks. What man gonna turn around and say, hey, shoot him and shoot me in the head too when I cover him up? I'm the only person to the loss when Pac moved on. Not only did I lose the idea of a friend you can have or a little brother you can have, Pac is one of those incredible artists that I know for a fact he's worth way more alive than dead.
Something to do with the murder.
Outsider's opinion doesn't matter if it's their opinion. That's going by with somebody in the media. Somebody else said try to cover up their own tracks. What man gonna turn around and say, hey, shoot him and shoot me in the head too when I cover him up? I'm the only person to the loss when Pac moved on. Not only did I lose the idea of a friend you can have or a little brother you can have, Pac is one of those incredible artists that I know for a fact he's worth way more alive than dead.
Where and why do you think people say Pac wanted to leave death row, and that's why he was killed. Where do you think those rumors came from?
Probably because of the motherfuckers who feared Pac the most. Probably his competition. When Jimmy Iovine heard, I thought that Pac was dead, right? First thing he said was, "You can't be a dead man in sales." He said, "You lucky as fuck, you can hit the jackpot." Jimmy turned back around and did a deal and signed Puffy as an artist on Interscope. In this business, it's not really loyalty to a lot of these dudes. Everybody want to fake like they care about the shit they make it. Once they make it, they on a whole agenda. They try to figure out how to cut you out because they're greedy. So if everybody love Pac so fucking much, and everybody's so bad about some loss, what are they doing about it?
There were some shootings, approximately 12 in nature, that we believe may possibly have been retaliatory for the incident that occurred in Las Vegas.
Some of the motivation for some of the shootings in the city of Compton may have been retaliation for events that occurred in the city of Las Vegas on September 7th, 1996. Las Vegas Police Department has not announced any suspect in the Tupac Shakur shooting.
You know, when Pac got shot and Biggie released his album, Life After Death, he bragged and talked about the person that people say shot Pac on his song.
But that don't mean a nigga can't rest in the West. See some nice breasts in the West. Smoke some nice sets in the West. Y'all niggas is domestic and I'm gon' stop giving LA props. All I got is beef with those that violate me. I shall annihilate people.
For the second time in 6 months, real-life violence has taken the life of a rap star. 24-year-old Notorious B.I.G. gunned down in a drive-by shooting outside a music industry party in L.A. early Sunday.
Speculation that it was a result of a long-standing East Coast-West Coast feud among rap artists.
Biggie's death comes almost exactly 6 months after the drive-by slaying of his arch-rival, even more popular rap star Tupac Shakur in Las Vegas.
Right. Now some people say that you had Biggie murdered because Pac's murder.
You know, when you really look at it, like I said before, Biggie involvement in most of the things I felt that any involvement he ever had, I felt it's because the next person he was with was pushing for negative, and so he rolled with it. Number one, it wouldn't benefit me to have Biggie murdered. And second, when that happened to Biggie, I was in the county jail, so how could I have any involvement, participate and have anything done to Biggie when I'm locked the fuck up? When it's something about me, they push the envelope, try to destroy me. When it turns on the next man who's really guilty of something, according to the facts, there's not one thing being said. From that day on, it changed a lot of shit. It changed the fact that they made it their mission basically to try to destroy us.
Now, Los Angeles prosecutors claim Suge Knight was also in the group, kicking a man on the ground. Did Knight take part in this fight? If so, it would be a violation of the Death Row Record executive's probation on a 1995 assault charge.
Where and why do you think people say Pac wanted to leave death row and that's why he was killed? Where do you think those rumors came from?
Probably because of the motherfuckers who feared Pac the most. Probably his competition. When Jimmy Iovine heard, I thought that Pac was dead, right? First thing he said was,
All right, so there's the quick clips of Suge Knight. One thing that I forgot that I missed, and I mean, I'm not gonna quote it verbatim, but what what Suge Knight said is the night that the car had gotten shot up, his car that he was in with Tupac, that they fired back. Not them, but somebody in the entourage, many people in the entourage, is from what I remember, that they fired back like multiple shots at the car that was that had the assailants in the car that was shooting their car, and that they pulled off. They pulled off. They turned one way, the opposite way to go to the hospital. No, it was he said several individuals. He said several individuals did, but then I thought that Mob James said that his brother told him that nobody shot back at the assailant's car. I don't know if you got that. If you heard that on one of the interviews he did, he said that nobody shot back. I'm sorry. Mob James said nobody shot back at the car is what he said in one of the interviews. And if you want, I'll chop the clip up. I can't use it though because I'll get copyright struck. But I'll send it up. I don't even want to copy the link. It's just another channel. Just go listen to Mob James' interview. And there's an interview where he says that his brother told him that they didn't fire back at the car. That's what he says. I don't know if that's true or not. And I'll tell you this much because I've written it down. That part where he talks about that starts from 25:55 to 27 minutes. And then there's something interesting at the hour and 49-minute mark. But he said that nobody shot back at that car. And then the other thing that he said was that nobody was carrying guns in the entourage. The gangbangers. He didn't say anything about security. He talked about the gangbangers. That's what he said. So, no. The point I'm making is that somebody is not being truthful when they're talking about the, shooting back. Suge Knight said that, several people shot at the car, and that Mob James said that his brother told him nobody shot back at the car. So, what's real, what's not, who knows? But that's the part I left out. Suge said that several people shot at that car as it was driving away. Then he said he drove and that, of course, they got hemmed up by the police officers. Here's another interesting tidbit. Chris Carroll was a first on the scene, and then Chris Carroll was involved in when Suge Knight was beating a woman. I don't remember if it was his girlfriend or not, but he was a first on the scene in that one as well, Chris Carroll. What are the odds of that? That might just be trivial, but that's just something that was there. So, let's see here. Yeah, but I don't know. I don't know who's lying. I'm just telling you what they're saying. You go out there and you figure out. I heard that part too, where he said he was the club. But then if you listen to Greg Kading's interview with Anton Beatty, and I'm sure RJ Bond has a copy of that. I have a copy of that somewhere. I don't know exactly where it's at, but Greg Kading in his interview in 2011 says that that the gang members that were inside of Club 662 were carrying guns. That's what he says in the interview. I don't know. Over time things change. People change their stories and everything. So who knows? Don't know. Who knows? Anyhow, anybody want to call in? And just for the record, just so you know, I'm not losing you guys here. I don't believe in the Orlando Anderson theory. I don't believe in it at all. There's too many holes in that story. I don't believe in it one bit. I know there's some people in this chat room that believe in that, but hey, to each their own. But I don't believe in that theory, period. Orlando Anderson was like the Teflon Don of the Compton. The dude was killing everybody, supposedly, right? So yeah, I don't have to convince you guys. I'm pretty much, that's me. I believe that Orlando Anderson was not the killer. He was the equivalent to what Lee Harvey Oswald was to John F. Kennedy's murder. He was just a patsy, in my opinion. So took a beating, took 60,000, and called it a day. So, but you have the evidence there. You know, you determine whether or not you believe it or you don't. That's up to you. I'm not here to convince anybody. Just here to give my thoughts, give my opinions, and you guys do the same thing too. So, anyhow, anybody want to call in? If not, we're gonna wrap it up. And as always, I want to let you guys know I thank you for coming tonight. If you are in the chat room and you haven't hit the like button, I apologize. The like button, hit the like button so that we can get some thumbs up in the video. And if you're not a supporter of the channel, hit the support button and the bell for notifications. We'll be coming with some more live streams soon. And as you've heard tonight, JMix has been kind of working long hours, and you know what he does is you know, so this is what we're gonna do. So I'm gonna put the number out there. We're gonna call in. We're gonna do a end it or extend it. Give you 5 minutes to speak your mind, say what you gotta say. Don't be vile. If not, we're hanging the phone up. If you call and the phone call goes sideways because we can't hear it, we're just gonna hang it up and we're gonna call it a day. Okay, so I'm gonna give the number out here. You can call in, say what you gotta say. If you saw the docuseries tonight, you can go and give your opinion on that. And that's really it. So there's a number right there. You can call in. Area code 424, whatever. Four two four 452-0518. So that's the number for tonight. You want to call in. And if you don't know where I'm at, you can do a Google search. I'll be here for one night only, traveling across the country, taking care of some things. Military has you going in all different kinds of directions. So, all right, so we got our caller here. If it goes sideways, we're going to hang the phone up.
Press 1 to start the call or 2 to decline. The call will start at the beep.
All right, caller, you're online. Who's this?
It's Fred. Can you hear me?
Can y'all hear? I can hear you. Can y'all hear out there, folks?
Yeah. What we need to find out is why did Snoop tell Dad not to throw the babies that night if he's gonna miss the plane? And why would Suge say that if you saw one, you saw both? So, you know, you gotta be some number.
Well, if you solve one, you solve both. I mean, that's, don't you think it's kind of a blank statement there?
Yeah. And why would Snoop still there don't go to Vegas to come at the plan? Like, what was the plan?
So you tell me what do you believe? What do you believe is the truth?
What do I believe?
Yeah, what do you believe is the truth?
I believe both hits Death Row.
You believe both hits were from Death Row Records?
Yeah.
Okay. You want to elaborate on that? Like in a quick answer, a quick short answer. What do you think? Who do you think killed Tupac?
I don't know who. I know I want to let no Anderson.
Okay, so it wasn't Orlando Anderson. All right. So you say it was somebody that was in death row that killed Tupac.
I think it was somebody who set it up. I mean, Sugar Man, he set it up.
Okay. And then what's your opinion on who killed Notorious B.I.G.?
Somebody that was connected to bro.
Somebody who was connected to death. Okay.
Yeah.
You don't have to.
I think it mostly times like that. Because I mean, everything you go down.
Okay. You don't have to elaborate who it was, but so you believe that. Okay. Well, good deal. We can hear you faintly, but we just wanted to get your call in to speak about what it was that you have your opinion on. We certainly appreciate it. Is there anything else you want to speak about? Is there anything you want to plug? You got your own channel or anything like that?
No, I just want to call it.
All right. And what's your name again? Travis Richard?
Yeah.
All right, good deal. All right, man. Well, we appreciate you calling in. We're going to take the next call, okay?
All right.
Thanks, sir. All right. So yeah, that Travis. The only thing was we couldn't really hear you because the phone call was a little faint. It was a little low. But if anybody else wants to call in, you know the number. We'll take one more call in, and then we'll call it a night. So you hear him? Yeah, I tried to turn the volume up. It's just it was too low on their end, so couldn't go any higher than that without it clipping. So Travis Richard believes that somebody was involved within Death Row. That's who killed Tupac and Biggie. That's his opinion, theory. Anybody else want to call in? I think people want you to call in, Death Row East. I think people want to hear your voice. I think somebody wants to hear you. We got about another 5 minutes left. But I appreciate everybody coming in tonight, listening. Anybody who wants a copy of anybody who wants a copy of that docu-series tonight, if you want to put your email on, you can, and I can send you basically a link so that you can Death Row East, you should call in and let people know what your opinion is, what it is you believe. I mean, it's a friendly board here. Everybody's friendly. You're not going to get attacked or anything like that. It's just, you believe what you believe. We believe what we believe in, and that's it. Nothing's going to change your mind. Nothing's going to change our mind, and that's period point blank. So if anybody wants to put their email out there, I'll send you an email with the link so that you can download that. And I shouldn't even be saying that because I might get in trouble for even saying that much. But so Death Row East is too lit tonight. He's too lit. There you go. That's the problem, Death Row East. You're too lit to see the truth, man. You can't see the with all the fog in your brain. So, no, I got you, Mike. It's long distance. Yeah. I think we're coming to a head here. So, like I said, I'll send you the clip, the docuseries, and you can watch it, and then you can have your own opinion about what you think. So, any new developments? Anybody have anything to speak on at all? At all? Anybody? Okay, I got a question. Does anybody believe that Tom Sizemore, what he says about, he believes that he has proof that Suge had involvement in both murders? Anybody out there believe that theory? You can say yes or no. I don't believe it. I think he was he was drinking or something. That's what it was. Jamar doesn't believe it. Jake Style doesn't believe it. I don't believe it. 3-0 now. Defroe says, you know what, Mike? I got your email. And I'm going to leave it hidden just so that people don't see it. So if you put your email, it'll stay hidden. Nobody can see it. So I'm going to write it down here real quick. Don't show it out there. But I have your email. Let me see here. Let me view that real quick. All right. So I have your email. I'll send it to you tonight, a link. And Jamar, if you want to send your email, you can. It won't show because the emails are hidden, you can send that to me, and I'll send you a courtesy viewing of that. The thing is, somebody might tell on me. That's what this becomes about. Tattletelling. Somebody's gonna tell on me and say this and that. But it's okay. Hey, if my channel gets shut down, it's all right. It's not monetized. It makes $0, and it doesn't affect my personal finances. So if somebody wants to tell on me, go ahead. You're more than welcome to. So let's see here. Death Row East. I think it might have been Big Dre or T Brown that blasted. Was what I think. Okay. Jamar says no. Maybe not Biggie. I believe that guy was involved. I believe Oprah did it. Death Row East. You right. Big Gene confirmed it. I'll be interested in more of what RJ has got. Yeah, he's coming down with some more stuff. And that was a pretty intriguing statement. What JMix said, that something big is coming. We're waiting for the Phil Carson stuff to come out from the FBI. If you haven't gone and read that article from the Daily Beast, that's a really good article. You got the pundits who will say that he's crazy or he doesn't know anything or whatever. He's a Russell Poole of the FBI. But I think Phil Carson has some real valid points and some real valid information. Also, Randall Sullivan in May of 2019 is coming out with this book called The Dead End. It's kind of a runoff of what The Labyrinth was. So if you haven't had an opportunity to read The Labyrinth book, read that book. Gives you a lot of details about both murders, more Notorious B.I.G. than Tupac Shakur. And then, of course, if you want to read Tupac 187, that is also a good book to read. So let's see here. All right. So we're almost done here tonight. Yeah, City of Lies 2 is supposed to be coming out. I think it was just, it wasn't anything of nefarious. It was just about, it came out, it was a money thing, money game. The financing, the basically company ran it into the ground. So that's the reason why it didn't come out. So let's see here. Yeah, Time Sizemore, he's kind of out there. So, let's see here. Oh man. All right. Sorry. Yeah, got me laughing over here. Yeah, City of Lies should be a good movie. Can't wait for that to come out. Hopefully it makes its money back they spent on the production of that. Should name Oh man. I swear. Yeah, so City of Lies, Dead End or Dead Wrong, whatever it is. May 2019. JMix and RJ got the juice. Yep, they're back. The end of RJ's book blew my mind. What exactly was it that blew your mind about the end of his book? That's what I'd like to know. Orange Soda's Revenge. Welcome. Glad you can join us. Suge said that Tupac is he's dead. He's not alive. But he hinted at, maybe Tupac may have talked about faking his death, but he didn't fake his death. So, but people are gonna make a lot about that because that came on the docuseries. He talked about when they made the video of I Ain't Mad at You. He wore the white suit. He was really pissed off about it. He's like wanting people to take it seriously. And Suge was like, "Hey man, are you really thinking about doing something like this?" And not verbatim, but kind of reading between the lines because I don't want to look like a dummy or whatever. So, audit and following the money trail. The money trail. Oh, I'm sorry. The money trail. Yeah, the money trail. Yeah. Well, I think the biggest roadblock was that it happened in Las Vegas and that the investigation was just, the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department, they were really inept. They weren't the greatest police officers. But then you got to ask yourself, really, I mean, and I don't think anybody's ever asked that question. Like, hey, did you guys actually subpoena the video footage? What's up? What did you guys actually do? It seems like this case is like, there's like so much secrecy that surrounds it, and I'd respect them if they said, you know what, we just didn't want to do the investigation because we didn't want it to look like a Wild West out here or whatever with, media and all this other kind of stuff. But Tupac was on a freight train headed to his death. Here's the thing. I don't know if you agree with me or not, but think about this. Tupac kind of got wild towards the latter part of his life, and he wanted revenge for what had taken place at the Quad Studio, and who wouldn't if your own friend supposedly set you up. Now, the question here is if you get that kind of power, you're gonna use it. Most people will. All right, he was already, kind of a loose cannon, right? And then he has that kind of power. But here's the thing though, that everybody should understand. The people that are surrounding you, the people that care about you and love you and protecting you, are supposed to be protecting you, people you hire to protect you, or whatever it is, the people that you surround yourself with, sometimes they got to save you from yourself. And you got to do plans and you got to execute things. Going back to the last live stream, we had Mob James say that they were on high alert because they had some beef with Southside or whatever. All these things were happening that were leading up to whatever it is, the supposed story that was taking place. So with that being said, man, I mean, you got the biggest rap star of the 90s, of that era, of that year, of that time, of that moment. And certain people didn't take enough precaution to protect him. They should have protected him more than they did. And that's what it's all about. It's not about, what it is that Tupac would have not wanted. It's about what you as an expert or supposed expert are supposed to do. So when you consult for somebody or you're doing something for somebody, generally you'll try to give them what they want, but for the most part, you got to give them what's best for them. And sometimes those are things that you have to exude on people. And that's what and it just seemed like, Tupac was out there as a sore thumb, and nobody really protected him the way they were supposed to have protected him for whatever reason. So that's why I say, despite whatever Tupac was, a train wreck or whatever you want to call it, he was he needed to be protected by the people that supposedly cared about him. And that didn't happen, obviously. So that's the reason why we all jump on these boards, and that's why we all talk about Tupac, and that's why we all are trying to figure out what is the truth and what are the untruths. And as long as people keep lying and keep always forgetting stuff, and then they have this miraculous, fixed memory, then we're never going to get the truth. And that's what it's all about. So until people start telling the truth and stop being scared of people that threaten them and people who, don't want them to talk, then you're never going to get the full scope of what took place during that time. So, but, whatever. I mean, whatever you think. So I'm going to read a few comments. I'm sorry, I'm just talking here, just kind of talking in the wind. RJ's book, I do have it. Matter of factly, I have number 3 of the first. I don't remember. It was like 1,000 that were sent out. I read it like in 2 days. I think it was about 300 pages. Good book. Politics also. The book. Mem Star. The shooter wore a white hat. Seattle. No, I don't think the shooter wore a white hat. That has never been mentioned by anybody. I'd like to know where you got that information from, Def Ruiz, because I've never heard one person say that he was wearing a Seattle Mariners hat. Not one. Unless there's something that I don't know. But let's see what you got. Do you have it? So much secrecy? Not yet. Pac recorded so much and was always in the studio recording song after song because he knew his time was limited and he wasn't going to live long. That's very true. All right, so I have ordered it. Same with Assassination 3. Thank you. Okay, good investment. Tupac was moving too fast. Death Row was getting too big. Me too. Pac was moving fast, but he knew his death was coming. Yeah, he knew something was happening. I mean, think about it. I mean, even today, you hear of all the people that come out and start talking about Tupac, and they in his face they were telling him they love him, but in his back they were backstabbing him and taking his money and all this other stuff, and saying he wasn't a gangster and he wasn't this and that and the other. But they sure did have their hand out when he was paying the bills. So you had a lot of hanger-ons that were hanging on to Tupac, taking his money, but talking behind his back. So just goes to show you who really stayed down for Tupac and who the loyal ones were. We see that all the time when we hear the interviews. You see that. So nobody said anything about yeah, nobody has ever said anything about a white hat. Nobody. No one's ever said anything about a white hat. Ever. I've never heard that anywhere. So let's see here. Truth came out of Machiavelli. Mile 22 years ago, but most of his fans now laugh off that he was saying and believe the police. People are believing the police plus the lies. Yeah, I'm gonna buy Labyrinth too. I don't think we're gonna get any more calls tonight, so I'm gonna shut the lines down. But anybody can guess without looking it up what the area code for 424 is? Anybody? 424. Yeah, I'm buying Labyrinth. I bought the last book and it was good. So, yep. I'm getting it. Good books, good details. I mean, Perry Sanders is thinking about, there's a possibility they're going to open up that case again. Who knows? I mean, it's always potential. Thing is that you have to jump so many hurdles, and there's so much bureaucracy that's going to be in play that I don't know if they're going to be able to effectively open the case. And I'm going to listen to anybody say, Oakland. No, not in Oakland. 424. 424 area code. Let's see here. 424 area code. 42. Yeah, 42. Yeah, you're right. You're right. I'm in Oakland. You're right. I guess that's what, near West Los Angeles, I guess. I don't know. Who knows? Here for only one day, though. One night. Be gone by tomorrow. Be on my way up the road. So anyways, if you can hit the thumbs up button, please. I appreciate it. And if you're not a supporter of the channel, support the channel. But mainly, I'm not here to talk too much. I like it that you guys can actually interact with each other in the chat room. If you really think about it, there's really no other way that the community can interact without there being, a live stream from myself or from Jesse or from RJ. I don't know anybody who live streams. I mean, there's the other channel too, but who knows? Southside shooters wore S hats. You still didn't answer the question, Def Ruiz. You said that they wore the hats, but did you produce any evidence? Because I'm telling you, I never heard that before. I've never heard that. So, yeah, you're right. You know what? Honestly, closer to Compton, closer to Compton is where I'm near. Yeah, 424 and 310, I believe, were the Compton area codes. I'm not too sure. But I'm in California. Yeah, I guess it could be by Oakland. I mean, I'm not too familiar. This is my first time here. Just here taking a visit. Just checking out some things and, moving on to the next place. So let's see here. We have oh my God, this is crazy. Gaddafi said the shooter wore a white hat. Okay, so if you're gonna go to Gaddafi's statement, you said he wore a white hat, but you're adding stuff to it. So you're saying that he wore a white hat, but you're saying that it was a Seattle Mariners hat. So I mean, I can appreciate what you're saying, but that's like me saying, somebody was driving a black car and then calling it a Cadillac, and they only mention a black car. So you're saying a white hat, but you're also adding the Mariners. So if you're adding that extra detail, are you trying to convince yourself that that's what it was? So if it's in there with a white hat, you're adding the Mariners thing to it. So yeah, yeah, it must be crazy sitting next to. Yeah, it is. I mean, but like I said, Suge Knight had a lot of wisdom. I mean, he basically came into the rap game, the rap scene, basically kicked down doors, made record companies, record executives pay artists what was rightfully theirs, their publishing, things like that. He was really smart doing that. But at the end of the day, he lost it all. Well, for not showing up to court, that could be one of the things. And then the other thing too is just not paying Michael O'Harris the money back. If somebody lends you 1.5 million and you make 100 million, just pay the dude. Pay him. Get him off your back. It just, when you get greedy, those are the kind of things that happen. People try to find ways to shake you down. And not only that, like I said before, he was in a lawsuit with Interscope and Jimmy Iovine, David Kenner, and everybody, and they dropped the lawsuit. The lawsuit, and then they repeal the lawsuit and they put him in Death Row Records on it, and he loses. So, I mean, at some point you got to convince yourself that people wanted Tupac. I mean, I'm sorry, they wanted Suge Knight out of power, and they had to figure out every single way how to get him out of power. And one of the ways to get him out of power was to send him to jail for 9 years. I mean, for a simple kick. I mean, even if it's a probation violation, if you really think about it, the judge gave a really harsh sentence, and most people probably would have got, if I had to guess, a year, 2 years, something like that. But 9 years is extreme. So, gonna read the comments here. Let's see how much longer we're gonna be on the live stream here. We've been on 53 minutes. Probably gonna end it like an hour and 10 minutes. I appreciate the call-ins, even though we had a low call-in. That was only one. There's only way I can raise it without it clipping. But I'll be doing another live stream, and I'm actually going to do another live stream where I'm going to actually go to tutorial on how you can do your own live stream, what kind of equipment to buy, so that if you decide that you want to pick up the chain, the baton, and you want to do your own live streams and you want to do it right, or for a good cost-effective solution, budget-wise, I'm going to show people how to do it, their own live stream, so we can jump on your channel. So I don't know how much longer I'm going to be doing this for, to be honest with you. My channel doesn't get monetized this next go-around. I'm calling it a day. I'll still be a part of the Tupac community. I'll still believe what I believe. I'll still support everybody who I like as far as their channels. And all the other channels that I don't like, I don't mention them because it's not worth my time. So... But hopefully we can get Mike, we can get Jamar, we can get Orange, Soda's Revenge. We can get you guys to do a live stream and show you guys how to do that and what you need to get. Let's see here what we got here. So I'm going to read. So, yes, I seen the doc. I thought so. Could obviously the shooter wore a white hat. I love Cali on an island. On an island? I don't know what that's about. Death Row East, it's at Gaddafi's statement. It must be crazy feeling like Suge in BMW. Main suspect, T. Brown. Check the picture. Man, Death Row East, cut it out. It's okay. Death Row East is like the only guy that comes here from that other channel. So, it's all right. He's okay in here. He can say what he got to say. There's no convincing this guy. He believes it. So, Suge said that Snoop, him, Pac in Maui, Hawaii. Talking about faking his death. Let's see here. I'm surprised Harry O wasn't considered a suspect. Mike, I don't think that he would be considered a suspect only because, I mean, it doesn't mean that he's in prison or whatever, but I felt like that he was going to rely more on the justice system to get his money because he felt like he had a good case, and he had some pretty good lawyers. And if you haven't heard the conversation on that, you can go to my page and you can listen to the conversation he was having with his lawyer and stuff, and you can kind of tell that the judge was more biased towards Michael Harris than he was in exacting fair justice and trying to see both sides unbiasedly when Suge Knight was trying to, fight the case or whatever. So, but yeah, nobody ever talks about Harry O. Nobody ever talks about David Kenner. I mean, Jimmy Iovine is not a suspect. I don't think he would murder anybody, but he certainly had a lot of gain from these guys, dying, and he didn't really care because he's just all about the money. I mean, think about him. He's just chasing the money, and that's the reason why he left with Dr. Dre. So it's called Greed. Hell yeah. XSplit. Yeah, XSplit is good. You can use OBS. I will never. Why will you never do a live stream, Mike? I'll let you elaborate on that. T. Brown was a killer and was shot up a bunch of times himself. Well, I think a lot of killers are gonna get shot up, but that doesn't make them the killer of Tupac Shakur or Notorious B.I.G. So let's see here. Your location, South Bay, West LA, is your current. Yeah, that's where I'm at now. Sure am. Yes, Memstar. Same to you. Happy holidays. Thank you for being always a loyal supporter and keeping a positive mind. So Death Row East, you're everywhere. I don't know where you're at. I'm sure, but I know what I'm gonna buy you for Christmas, Death Row East. I'm gonna buy you a keyboard that has a caps lock button on it. Ventura County. All right, Ventura County. Yep. Let's see here. Death Row East. I interviewed the rapper K9. Can't say I remember him, but Kenner is a mob lawyer. He definitely had something to do with it. Death Row East. Do you know Big D? Read Gaddafi statement. I wouldn't do a live stream because I don't like being on camera. You don't have to be on camera. You can do like I do. You can just have a blank screen. You don't need to have a camera. You can just have a background. I don't put my picture out there. I mean, you have these idiots out here on YouTube that'll get your picture and try to make all these stupid videos just because they have nothing else to do with their life. So, I mean, the good thing about it is that, this is YouTube, and you just let these guys do what they want to do. They don't have a life, and don't worry about them. Life goes on. They're probably stuck in their their lowly life doing whatever they're doing. So, and whatever. They feel good making videos of other people and posting this and that and the other, then hey, more power to you. So I'm everywhere. I'm international. Yeah. Tupac's murder was an inside job. Otis trailer. It was an inside job. Who killed Tupac? Death Row rapper signed by Suge. He had good stories about Death Row. So you did the interview. Are you ever gonna push it out? Push it out, man. You need to create your own channel, Jamar, because some of these other channels would be going offline. Mine being one of them. So you should push that interview out. Create something and push that interview out so that people can hear it. And just so you know, because I have heard other channels say that I don't interview anybody but JMix and RJ Bond. I had an interview with a New York rapper who is controversial and who is now sitting in jail. And, I turned it down just because I felt like it wasn't going to be good for this channel. And then also I had a chance to interview the woman who accused Tupac of raping her. And I turned that down because I didn't think that was going to be good for this channel either. Like, that's just promoting something that really, if you think about it, it's promoting somebody who really changed the course of history for Tupac. And that's just not something I wanted to do. So, anyways. Jamar, I need help. Thank you, Memstar, for coming through. Happy holidays. Take care. See you next time. If you haven't hit the thumbs up, hit the thumbs up button. We got about 5 more minutes, 10 more minutes, and then we're going to call it a day. Just to give you a quick, for anybody who's just joined, just to let you know, the docuseries Suge American Nightmare came out, and it had a lot of good gems in it. Talked about Biggie, talked about Tupac, talked about the record company, talked about Vanilla Ice, talked about everything else. It was pretty good. Can I listen to your interview? Well, you can send it to me via email if you like, and I'll listen to it. Security had something to do, let's see here, with the murder. I despise YouTube as well. Only come on here for your friend Emma. Okay. Yeah, YouTube is kind of turned to like a WWE circus, things like that. Villad offered Dexter Isaac $100 for interview. Let's see here. Low MB's interview and about Pac in Vegas. He tells more what Gaddafi told him at the hospital about the shooter. Like I said, every time we talk about a shooter, nobody ever just comes direct and says who the shooter is. It's always like, there's never any secret informants or anybody that, comes out and secretly says, I mean, the Outlaws or whoever, just come out and say it. I mean, if that's what you believe, then just say it. I mean, why does it always become this whole, like, secrecy thing? Like, hey, man, I can't tell you, like, who the shooter was. Just, I don't know. Somebody's scared of somebody. I'll tell you that much. Let's see here. So 5 more minutes and we're going to wrap it up. Anybody, if you're on this channel, hit the thumbs up button. Hit the like button. Let's see here. I think we're going to end it pretty soon. HD. Don't know what that's about. Getting to the end here. A big black arm. A big black arm. I think that was speculative. The big black arm. The big black arm. I don't know. Let's see here. I mean, that's pretty vague, The big black arm could have been Mike Tyson's arm. I mean, I don't know. Who knows? Could have been, could have been Bob Sapp's arm. Could have been anybody's arm. I think we're just kind of connecting some dots there that are not, for me, they're not there, but anyhow, to each their own. So anyways, 3 more minutes and we'll wrap it up. But if you get an opportunity, go to JMix channel, JMix exclusives. He has his Patreon for $1, less than $1. That's less than a meter or a coffee, depending on where you drink coffee at. You can subscribe to content that he doesn't put on YouTube for the censorship reasons. Also be looking out for deathrowradio.com. Still the ball's still rolling on that. It might not be to its 100% potential just because of the roadblocks that were thrown his way, but you'll probably get the better content there than you would probably on YouTube. And then also we have, you go to RJ Bond's channel, check it out, do what you got to do. And then I think that's it for the most part. RJ's channel, RJ Bond. He's coming out with some new content. Yeah, Tim Hortons is really big in Canada. Yeah, it is. EDI said the hand had a glove. A glove? Like a boxing glove? Or a glove like a workman's glove? Like a black glove? Like the one OJ wore? Or what's up? What kind of glove are we talking about here? Check out my music on my page, Death Row East. All right. Like I said before, we might start a GoFundMe page for you, Death Row East. We're going to get you a keyboard with a caps lock button so you can turn it off. It's like you're screaming at everybody in the chat room. So, anyhow, any lasting remarks? I want to wish everybody a happy holiday. Whatever it is you celebrate. Enjoy it peacefully with your family. Be live streaming next week, potentially. Maybe even. You know what, Mike? I got to ask you. The stuff that you're a black gov, okay, black glove. RJ got that 40 Glock info, 40 block info, 40 Glock info. Check out my channel too. Don't have any content, and it's awesome. All right, you gotta make some chef videos, man. Make some videos of you cooking up some food and stuff of that nature. So, hit that thumbs up button, support the channel. I need a GoFundMe. Yeah, we're gonna get you a GoFundMe, Death Row East. We're gonna get you one because I think your cap locks button is broken on your whatever. So anyways, I want to wish everybody, like I said, a happy holiday. Have a good night. We'll live stream sometime later in the week. And I already mentioned to you already that if my channel doesn't get monetized, I'm going off air. And I'm going to delete all my videos and just support the community to my best of my ability. So that's it. That's a wrap for tonight. Have a good night, Jamar, Muhammad, Mimstar, Orange Soda, and everybody else who joined tonight, Jake Styles, everybody else. Thank you for joining. And as I mentioned, on every live stream and video, always seek the truth, no matter where it takes you. Have a good night, folks.
I'm on the way down. I'd rather way straight to the grave now. Cocaine, they got my face now. Why ain't any of you saying something? I'm on the way down. I'd rather way straight to the grave now. Cocaine, they got my face now. Why ain't any of you saying something?
Just ran out of yeah now, got more on the way now. Headed to the grave, fuck 6 feet, I'm going way down. Couldn't get it up with 7 sluts up on my waist now. Ain't talking 4 homies when I say them balls is 8 now. Sniffing on my money up, couldn't eat a honey bun. Nose getting runny, this really shouldn't be funny, bruh. Night getting sunny, yeah. Lines feeling lovely, yeah. Licking all the nummies, but it's R.I.P. to Stucky, bruh. All my friends know I need help, they can't even help themselves. Shit, we might just go to hell. Young bar, he just sold a belt. Finna get that dough, was going right up in by those as well. Everybody in the party got it, call it blow and tell. I've been sniffing on my product, I don't got no more to sell. Ghost Brazil came through with Adderall, yes I do those as well. Even though it's San Antonio, it's always snowing here. Hit me up for that Yola deal.
I'm on the way down. I'd rather way straight to the grave now. Cocaine, they got my face now. Why ain't any of you saying something? I'm on the way down. I'd rather way straight to the grave now. Cocaine, they got my face now. Why ain't any of you saying something? Why aren't you saying something? I hope you're praying for me. Wrapped up in the drugs, cocaine mummy. Sandy bars to ease the pain, I don't pay from it. Switching lanes for